welcome back to another episode of Much Ado About Board Games. This week is a Monte and Julian takeover, so take it away, guys.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you.
I'm Monte.
And I'm Julian.
Today, we're going to look at one of the button shy games. We're going to look at Sprawlopolis. Sprawlopolis is one of the line of the many games that Button Shy puts out that are in these cool little pocket folders. In the inside, you have cards, and in this little game, you have a lot of playability. So we're going to take a look at Sprawlopolis, designed by Stephen Aramini, Danny Devine, and Paul Kluka. So let's go ahead and dig in. So let's take a look at the deck of cards. The deck of cards, we have 21 cards. On the back, we have different scoring conditions we'll talk about in a moment. But you'll see on the fronts, we have each card is divided into 4 different zones, 4 different blocks. And every card is going to have one block of the following types. It's going to have a park block, which is green. We have an industrial block, which is gray. We have a residential block, which is orange. And we have a commercial block, which is blue. So all cards have these different types, and you'll see roads going through them in different designs, and sometimes the order of the colors are going to be different depending on each card. So the first thing you're going to do, and I'll explain what all the different cards mean in a moment, but you just take the 21 cards, you give them a shuffle, and you pull any 3 cards out. And these 3 cards you put face down, and these are going to be the scoring cards for this round. So the important thing, we'll talk about what each of those does, but the important thing is to look at the number. So the numbers added up. We have 16 plus 10 plus 5. So we have 31 points. That is the goal for this game. Oh, I guess I should mention this is cooperative. This game is cooperative. So that might be one of the reasons why Melanie isn't with us today, because she does not like cooperative games. So Julian and I are going to be trying to complete these tasks to get full 31 points, or really we want to get much higher so we can totally make the best city possible. So let's go ahead and put these to the side real fast. I'll tell you how the game works, and then we'll talk more about scoring. The game is really simple. These no longer matter. So the only thing from here on out that matters is this side of the cards, because we've already pulled out our scoring cards. So these are now just nothing but backs of the cards. We're going to shuffle them up. 3 go to one player. So I'll just take these 3 and put them right over there for Julian. And the other player gets 1. The player who got 3 is the player that's going to go first. Okay, so I moved some things around. I went ahead and moved our scoring cards up here to the top. And notice again, that 16, 10, and 5, that adds up to 31, so that is the score that we are shooting for. I also set up a sample city. We went ahead and used all 18 of the available cards, because remember, 3 of them are here. So the other 18 cards we made a city with, so we can take you through how the scoring looks at the end, so you know why you would place tiles where you're placing them, because that's nice to know. So there are 2 different parts of scoring. There's the part of scoring, which deals with these 3 cards, and we're not going to talk about that yet. We're going to talk about the scoring that happens in every game, regardless of what 3 cards come out. The base scoring. So the base scoring is going to deal with the blocks and the roads. So what we want to look for is we want to look for the largest group of each zone type. The largest group of each zone type is going to be part of our score. So for instance, let's look at blue, which is our commercial zone. In our commercial zones, you'll see that the largest block is 4. The way we know it's a block or a group is that a cluster is because they're all attached either by one of the sides. Notice it is not by corner. So this is not, over here, it's not a 2. This is a 1 and a 1. But the largest blue group is 4. So that's 4 points. The largest green group is 3. We have a 2 over there, but we have a 3 here, so that's 7 points. We look for our largest residential, and it's 2. We have 2 different groups of 2, but it doesn't matter which one because they're both 2. So we have 4, we have 3, we have 2, which brings us to 9. And then we look for our industrial zones, which are the gray blocks. So our largest industrial zone is going to be 2 as well. Because we just have 2 there, still 2's as high as it gets. So that brings us to 11 points. Because it's 4, 3, 2, and 2. So that's 11 points that are base. That's based on the blocks. Then we also have part of the scoring that is based on the roads. Now the roads are important in this game because for each road, we're going to go ahead and score negative points for each road in our city. So we're actually going to lose a point for every road. And a road is defined as a complete road that has one start and one finish. So this is a road over here. This is a road. This is a road. This is a road. So let's go ahead and count the roads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's 16 negative points. So even though we had 11 points from the zones, we had negative 16 based on roads, which puts us at negative 5. So it's negative 5 points. That's what the city is worth before we go to these 3 cards. And remember, in order to successfully beat this game, you have to reach the sum total of these 3 cards. In this case, it'd be 31. We'll look at the scoring for this when we play the game. So let's go ahead and clear off the table except for these 3 cards, and we'll go ahead and explain the game. Placement rules are really simple. The first player to play just takes a city card and places it anywhere they wish. From there on, any card that's added to the city has to follow very simple rules. First of all, it has to be the same alignment as the cards that have already been played. For instance, if it's played lengthwise this way, then every card in the city has to be lengthwise that way. If it starts this way, then all cards have to be this way. You can't have a mix and match. You can't have a landscape with a portrait. Now, once the first player has placed one, the second card has to be either adjacent to the card out there, or it has to be overlapping the card that's out there. So adjacent is really simple. As long as it's touching a side, any one side or 2 sides is fine. That's fine, that's fine. The only thing that is not allowed is diagonal adjacency. This game does not have diagonal adjacency, so this is not legal. That is not adjacent. So this is fine, this is not fine. You also can cover up any of the blocks on the cards with a block from the cards you have. That is fine. They don't have to match colors. This one did happen too, but this is just as legal. I could cover up an entire side either way, or I could even cover up an entire card. All those are legal. The one thing you cannot do is you can't slide a card underneath another one. You can't tuck a card in. So it has to go on top, just like that. And this is how the game is played. Julian already has 3 cards. I'm going to get one of these. Julian is going to go first. He's going to place a card in the city. And then he is going to take his 2 remaining cards, because he has 3, and he is going to pass them to me. Now, one thing that's important is when you have the cards in your hand, they actually go face down, or at least to where only you can see them. This is the one part of the game where you're not allowed to share with your partner, because remember, this is cooperative, but you can't share with them what your cards have on them. This is secret. That's the only thing that's secret. In fact, the game encourages table talk, which is to discuss things, but the one thing you can't talk about is what's on your cards, because we all have a singular goal, but we all have different cards to help to try to get there. So Julian would go first. He has the 3 cards. He'd place 1 card. He would pass his 2 remaining cards to me. Then I would have 3 cards. He would draw a card from the deck, and then we would keep going back and forth. So I would then play 1, pass my 2 cards back to him, and I would draw a card from the top. We go until every single card has been played. Once all 18 cards have been played, we score. That brings up these 3 cards here. These cards tell us, remember, our target score. That's what we're trying to get. We're trying to get 31 points, and these are additional scoring things in addition to the blocks and the roads. So this one is the morning commute. We get 2 points for each road that passes through both a residential block and a commercial block. So for each road that goes through at least one of each of those gets 2 points. So 2 points per road that goes through each of those. Pretty cool. Pretty straightforward. And it even gives you a little example. We have a strip. This one is only going to count 1 row or one row or column according to how you're looking at it. This one is only going to score 1 row or 1 column, and it's going to be 1 point for every commercial block, which are the blue ones, that are in that row or column. So we get to pick whichever one we want. Obviously, we'll score the one that gets us the most points, and that'll give us 1 point for each of those. This example here, even though it says 6 points, that's just showing you that for this example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks in a row, so that's the 6 points that you get there. And the last thing of scoring we're going to have is stacks and scrapers. We get 2 points for each industrial block that is adjacent to only commercial or industrial blocks. So we're going to look at each industrial block, and if it only touches commercial or industrial, then that's 2 points for each one of those. So in this case, we see an example, and there's the industrial block because the industrial blocks are gray. And look, it only has industrial and commercial, which are the blues. And so that's 2 points. So we're going to be looking at these while we place them to try to make sure we're getting the most points. Excellent. So we're going to go ahead and begin. We're shuffling up the 21 cards. We went ahead and took all the cards back. Julian's going to get 3. I get 1. And these are going to go face up right here. And remember, the hands are secret, so we only get to see the cards that we have ourselves. And Julian's going to go first. So we're just going to zoom through the rest of the game. We're going to play all 18 cards, and then we're going to score and see how close we came to that target score. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and score. Now, the first scoring we'll do is our base scoring, which is the same scoring we're going to have for every game, which, remember, is by, first of all, we look for zones, connected zones. So for the gray, which is our industrial zone, it looks like our largest zone is 4. We have a 4 zone here. We have a 4 zone here. I don't see anything higher, so we get 4 points for our industrial zone. When you look at our residential zones, which are the orange, we have 1 is our largest zone. We have a whole bunch of residential blocks, but none of them are connected, so we have 1. So that puts us up to 5 points. When we look at our commercial zones, which are the blue, we see that we have a huge commercial block, right, a commercial zone right here. That's 1. Oh, that's right. So it's connected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is connected as well. So that's 7. Oh, so now we're going to look at our park zones. Our park zones, again, we only have 1. So now we have 7 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1. So we have 11, 12, 13 points. That's our base points by zones. Then we subtract points for all the roads. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 roads. So we have 13 points. Exactly. We have, how many points do we have?
1.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. So we have 1 point so far, 1 solitary point. And then we get these scorings. And it may not get much better. So for our morning commute, for each road that goes through a residential block and a commercial block. So we're looking for the orange and the blue for each road. This road does go through an orange and blue, so that is 2 points. We have orange and blue, 2 points. I'm going to do that. And then we have, are you counting for me, Julian? Mm-hmm. Good. Orange and blue, another 2 points. This one has orange and blue, another 2 points. This has orange and blue, 2 points. This one only has blue, only has gray and blue, gray and blue, gray and blue, orange and blue over there, another 2 points. How much is that? That's
12.
12 points. So we are now up to 13.
Yeah.
Our score is 13 so far. Lucky 13. And remember, our score has to be 31. So if we were in some mirror world, we'd have it already. But we're not.
That was cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So then we look at our strip of commercial blocks. That's blue. We can pick a row or a column according to which way you're facing. We can pick a row or a column that has the most blue. So obviously this row here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. and it's 1 point for each commercial block in that row. So that's 7 points. To our 13 points, we now have 20. 20 points. We're doing great. And then we look at stacks and scrapers. It's 2 points for every gray block that only has blue or gray around it. Now, it's okay if there's nothing on the other side. Like, let's look at this example here. This is gray, and it only has gray and blue touching it. That's fine. That's still 2 points. So the ones that are over off to the edge, those are going to be points for us. So let's look at that. This gray block does not count because it's touching different colors. This one doesn't count. This one does because it's only touching gray and blue. So that's 2 points. This one here doesn't match. This one doesn't work. This one does work. So there's another 2 points. This one doesn't work. This one doesn't. This one does work. It only has gray and blue, 2 points. This gray one only has gray and blue, 2 points.
You already said that.
I did that one already?
You did. That was the first one you did.
Oh, you're right.
You're here.
Okay, thank you. So this one does not work. This one does.
You already did that.
Oh, well, this is the one. Yeah, we did that one.
Work, though.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Now you're here.
This one works, 2 points. This one works, 2 points. This one does not work, and that one over there does not work.
So we have 10 in there.
10 points. So adding 10 points to our 20 points is 30. Our goal was 31. So we were actually 1 shy from reaching our target. Now, one thing I should tell you now is that the game actually scales by difficulty. We played it on the regular scale, and that's how you score it. If you wanted to play an easier game, you could very easily just not take away points for roads. So if we were playing on the easier game, we would add 13 points or 12 points onto our score, and we would have easily made that. If you want to go by the harder rules, then instead of taking the highest for each different zone, you just take the highest number for all of your zones that are connected. So our largest zone, period, would have been 7. So instead of getting 12 points, we would have only had 7 points, and we would have been further away if we played with the harder rules. And that's how you play Sprawlopolis. You could play it solo, you could play it up to 4 players. There's no problem with it. It says it plays in about 15 minutes. I think that's dead on. It might be a little less, but 15 max, unless you want to spend a lot of time trying to figure out where you want your tiles to go. It's a quick, fun game. So if you're looking for a cooperative game or a game you could play together or just by yourself, keep an eye out for Sprawlopolis by Button Shy Games. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Much Ado About Board Games, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.